Y nosotros seguimos con Ricardo Inzunza, un exfuncionario del antiguo Servicio de Inmigración y Naturalización, nombrado por el mismísimo expresidente Ronald Reagan por sus altas calificaciones en el tema. El señor Inzunza y el señor James LaRose de la organización American Together vienen a Oklahoma exclusivamente a sostener una entrevista con cada semana e informarnos sobre un programa de financiamiento de todo el proceso de legalización de aprobarse la reforma migratoria, a la cual también le damos una mirada con el especialista. Veamos. Señor Inzunza, últimamente hay un poco de pesimismo entre algunos, incluido yo, en cuanto al proceso de esta reforma migratoria. ¿Cuál es su posición?
Gracias, Carlos. Carlos, I'm going to answer you in English because I think that the answers that I give you are very important, and I want to explain myself as clearly as I possibly can.
Good.
The message that I bring about the possibility of immigration reform is a message of hope. I've been following the legislation closely, and as you know, there are many people who are saying hope is fading, it's not going to pass. That's not the message that I bring. I think that the Senate has passed a thoughtful bill, a forward-looking bill, with the Gang of Eight that they had over there. Senator Schumer led that group. Senator Schumer has said that they have been looking for votes on the House of Representatives side. The House of Representatives didn't pick up the Senate bill. They picked up their own 5 bills that they made. The Speaker of the House has said he's not going to schedule a vote unless he knows the votes are there to pass it. Senator Schumer, a month ago, said the votes are there. They've been counting votes, and they think they have the votes already. So it's a matter of scheduling a vote. I think that's coming. I think once that passes, then, of course, as you know, both bills go to conference to be reconciled. And when they come out of conference, they'll go back to both chambers, and they get a yes or no vote. Mm-hmm. If they vote yes in both of those chambers, we know the president's going to sign it. And so I'm very hopeful.
President Obama is trying to to pass this immigration reform, but in the same time, he is one of the presidents of the poor, many people, more than anybody else in the history of the United States. How can that happen?
I wouldn't want to be the president for anything in the world. No matter what the president does, there's always somebody that's against it. And they have constituency groups, and they have access to the media, and that's what you're going to hear.
Okay, let's be positive, like you are in this issue. The next step is to be prepared.
Yes.
And we have James here, and I guess we are trying to, with your organization, to be ahead of the line and do something now when there is time. Your organization is coming to a state like Oklahoma to help immigrants in this process. But you have well-established law firms in every state that are working already. How do you explain that?
Well, American Together, first of all, it is a nonprofit organization, and it exists. Well, imagine this. A person's eligible. A person would be able to be regularized and legalized, and the only thing that's standing in their way are their finances of it. And those finances would go to both a vendor who would help matriculate, that could be a law firm, that could be a processing firm. But in addition to paying those fees, American Together would be willing to do that. There's also the fees that have to be matriculated that the federal government is going to impose on a person completing the process. So we're not competition. Matter of fact, we're embraced by vetted vendors that we know have integrity, because we're actually able to provide the applicant the finances that they need, which are passed on to an organization like RIA or an immigration law firm that really is going to ensure one of these applicants' success.
You mentioned that 40% of the people who apply in immigration reform in 1986, the amnesty in 1986 didn't qualify for that. Was the economical issue a main factor for that?
It may have been. It may have been. The factors that when we closed the program down, in government you have to do an after-action report or lessons learned report. What did we learn? We didn't know till after it was over that we had had such a high failure rate. And when we drilled down into that data to find out why they'd failed, there were three main reasons. Applications were incomplete, they were incorrect, or they lacked the necessary supporting documents.
There's almost $1 billion that you guys are putting to disposition of the immigrants, the finance of the immigrants. How do the people will apply for these loans or finance help?
Yeah, thank you for asking. It's going to be very important that we only fund individuals that are eligible. And that's why this population must prepare now and get in line with us, making sure that the documentation is in order, because only if you're eligible to succeed with the government program would you then be eligible for the finances from American Together. Mm-hmm. So it is taking the time now to get in line even with American Together or an organization like RIA. It's systems critical.
Señor Inzunza, la gente del pueblo tiene una idea de que esto es una oportunidad de ahora o nunca. Tenemos fe en que esto pase, pero también existe un temor de que si no pasa esta ley el día de hoy, a lo mejor no pase en muchos años o nunca. ¿Qué le dice usted a la gente del pueblo?
Hay mucha razón para tener esperanza que va a pasar la ley. Sé que hay temor, pero también tenemos que tener confianza en el gobierno, en el presidente y en el querer del pueblo hispano y del pueblo americano también.
Excelente información viniendo de una personalidad en el tema migratorio como el señor Inzunza. Ya regresamos en unos momentos, no se muevan.